You too. What's good? It's your boy Everything Water. Water is everything, my familiar. Look, I got for you guys a very fun Stasis Hunter build with Radiant Dance Machine with the Quicksilver Storm. I'm telling you, there's gonna be a whole lot of unraveling and a whole lot of freezing with this build. Apologies, I haven't been posting in a little couple days. I've been under the weather. So bear with me. But yeah, if y'all like this type of video, please like and subscribe. It's your boy Everything Water. Water is everything, my familiar. Let's get straight to this video. Okay, starting off with this build, we're gonna be using the Radiant Dance Machine. Now the Radiant Dance Machine got a pretty buff last year, and the buff is so good because it turns this to like a orb power machine at the same time, making your melees or literally just infinite. So basically activating your dodge ability while near targets allows you to dodge additional times for a short period. Defeating targets extends the duration of the additional dodge. And it doesn't matter what weapon you do, you don't have to use your melee to extend this. All you have to do is use any weapons or any damage, any final blows counts, which is insane because you can literally just spam infinite. As long as you make final blows and defeat enemies, you're gonna spam infinite orbs of power, which is gonna go into some of the artifacts you use for our weapons. It's gonna be crazy. The amount of damage and freezing you're gonna be doing with this build is so fun, and it just turns this build to like a freezing machine, overpowered machine. You get your super quick, you're freezing enemies. It's so fun. Radiant Dance Machine is probably a very underrated exotic, and it's really fun to use. I recommend you guys to use, especially with Stasis. It makes Stasis really fun. But now we're gonna get into our exotic weapon. Now for exotic weapon, normally I really go with a Stasis weapon, but we're gonna use the Quicksilver Storm. Now if you guys don't know, meta using the Quicksilver Storm with Stasis, it's meta because Quicksilver Storm is one of the best exotics, and not the best exotic in the game. It comes with a rocket launcher. The catalyst turns this weapon into a strand weapon, and you do so much with these artifacts. The two artifact mods you have, it gives you unraveling every time you pick up orb power, and also spawns threading. So you turn this weapon into a machine. I'm telling you, a damage machine. It destroys any weapon. The grenade launcher is OP, does good damage. You clear out so much, and I mean so much, enemies with this exotic. Comparing this up with the RDM takes you to a whole nother level, takes Stasis to a whole nother level. I'm telling you, this build is extremely fun. But now we're gonna get into the actual build of this build. Let's get it. Okay, starting off with this build, we're going to be using not only Super, Silence and Squill. For an ability, we're going to be using Gambler's Dodge. This is going to be the whole perk of the build, going to Gambler's Dodge and using your melee. For our grenade, we're going to be Dustfield Grenade. Honestly, just the best grenade. It's so OP. For our aspects, we're going to use Touch of Winter, and we're also going to be using Grim Harvest. For our fragments, we're going to be using Whisper of Conduction, nearby Stasis Charge track to you. Stasis Charge does give you melee, melee energy, which is really good. And sometimes, like when you make them, you don't pick them up, so having them come to you is a lot better. We're also going to be using Whisper of Endurance, slow that you apply to targets last longer. For those abilities that linger, the duration will also increase. This is really good because everything about Stasis is slowing and freezing, rinse and repeat. So being able to have that slow for as long as even if you don't have to freeze them, just slowing them down is such a good perk, and it's so good for crowd control. This is a really good fragment. We're also going to be using Whisper of Shards, shattering a Stasis Crystal's temporary boost your grenade recharge. Shattering additional Stasis Crystal increases the duration of this benefit. This is really good because with one of our artifacts, we're going to be making a lot of Stasis Crystals. We're also going to be, with our Dustfield Grenade, freezing a lot of enemy and slowing them in general. So that's going to be really good, making this build so much fun, and being able to get your Dustfield Grenade, which is your whole, outside of your melee, another way you're going to be freezing and slowing enemies. We're also going to be using Whisper of Rim, collecting a Stasis Shard, grants a small amount of overshield which falls off after 10 seconds. Collecting additional shards adds to the overshield and refreshes the timer. This is more just for making you more tanky. All these Stasis Shards you're going to be making because you're going to be making a lot, and I mean a lot. Giving you that overshield is going to be good just for being tanky, because Stasis don't really have anything other than like the your renewals grasp, which is another exotic you can't use with this weapon that gives you that tank. So having this also gives you a little more survivability. Last but not least, we're going to be using Whisper of Refraction. Defeating slowed and freezing targets grants you ability energy. That's all you need. We're going to be spamming our abilities as much as possible. So this is going to be your bread and butter. That's going to give you that because you're going to be slowing every target you hit. Damn near. So yeah, that's it for the abilities, aspects, and the fragments. Now we're going to get into the stats, artifacts, and armor mods. Now for the armor mod, this is what you want to go to. Honestly, you want to go for Pillar of Ice and then everything from Unraveling, because you are going to be using the Quicksilver Storm, so you want to use anything of that. If you don't want to use, cause we're not using a solo weapon. If you don't want to use Revitalizing Blast, you can switch it up for Overload Rocket that launches, that gives your depending on what you're doing, you're already gonna have that. So yeah, that's it for your artifacts. Now for our stats, main always max out resilience. You want to be as tanky as possible. Next, I got tier 9. Anything between tier 8 and higher is perfect for this build. Tier 9, if you can get max, that's even as good as you can get. Then last but not least, for the most important, we got 81 on discipline, tier 8. This is good too. Anything between tier 6 and higher is good for this build. Makes this build a lot better. And then next we got intellect tier 5, and that's just perfect. If you can get anything higher than this, this is just a perfect all-around build. If I can just max out that mobility, it would have been so much better. But this is as good as you can get. Well, as good as I can get, honestly. Alright, let's go into our mods. Right here, you guys can screenshot this. Ain't trying to get too much into it. Screenshot this shit right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it for this build, man. If I like this type of video, man, please leave a like and subscribe. With your boy, everything water is everything my familiar. Look, I got the damn link. I got the damn link for y'all. But yeah, it's your boy, everything water. I'm out.